Is that better? A little bit. Okay, thank you for joining us here today. This is a small, intimate ceremony where we come together to celebrate our graduating social work undergraduate class. And, and we have the big formal ceremony that I know that most of you will be at later, where you'll sit through a long formal process of reciting names and taking in all the graduation tunes. So we're a little bit lower frills here, but much more intimate. And we'll take time to congratulate and welcome each student individually throughout the day. As we do that, at any time, we invite family members to step into the aisle here for a minute and take pictures and get your money's worth for this special occasion. For many of us, this has been a long journey. So I'm a social work researcher. I'm always very interested in doing a little on-the-ground research right here at the ceremony. So of our students who are here, there are 9 of us. How many of you maybe took a little more than 4 years to get to this point, by a show of hands? Maybe a little more. So we have some some hooks and turns along the way sometimes. How many of you have been in school for basically since grammar school, your whole lives, 16 years or more, pretty much straight through? Raise them high, be proud. So this is a big mile marker and a long process for you. How many of you have had a pretty major life event during the course of your schooling? A serious loss or a marriage or a baby or a big move? Most of you. So we think about graduation as this really neat process that we go through to get here and celebrate what we've done. And the truth is that we're here through a lot of work and difficulties and strains. The social work degree is very special because we want our students to know a lot about how to make the world a better place, about how to make ourselves better people so that we can go out and do good work in the world. But we also culminate the experience with a long practicum placement, so students get a really hands-on experience, and when they graduate, they're ready to go out and do the work that they've been trained to do because they've already done it hands-on in the ground. And so in your programs, you can see the wide variety of experiences that our students have had in the field, and we're so proud of the hours that they put in and the work that they do. Our social work club is very active in the community and has won national awards for 2 of the last 5 years, which is quite an accomplishment that here in Grand Forks, North Dakota, we've had the most active social work students in the whole nation. So we're very proud of you. How many of you are here and may not have made it without the support of somebody else who's sitting in the room behind you? See every hand. So turn around for just a minute and say thank you to the people that you love. Little wave. We know that this is a shared journey, and for so many of our students, they're only here because of the will and support and strength and rearing of the rest of you that are here. So we congratulate and thank you for seeing your loved one across the finish line. How many of you are going on for your MSW next year very soon? School's not over yet for some of you. Congratulations. And how many of you are pretty close to maybe having a job lined up after school? I see several hands. There are jobs for social workers. We would love to put ourselves out of business, and unfortunately we don't foresee that we'll lose the need for social workers anytime soon. It's a promising career path, and I've loved my journey in social work. we have so much flexibility to do so many different things and to work with people in so many settings, from hospitals to schools to social services, from policy work to grant writing to working really directly with people who need a little support to get where they're going next. So we're excited to hear from you later about where your journeys take you. I'm happy to invite up our Dean of the College of Nursing and Professional Disciplines, Dr. Gail Rue. Presides over our shared college departments, including social work, nursing, and nutrition and dietetics.
Thank you, Dr. Sage. I'm very blessed to serve as the Dean of the College of Nursing and Professional Disciplines. I am a nurse, but I have a huge amount of regard for the social workers and the work that you do, and I certainly do refer to the social workers a great deal in my practice. I do still maintain my practice just 2 days a month as a volunteer nurse practitioner at the Valley Health Community, and we work closely with the CVIC and the 3rd Street Clinic. So I maintain that little link. I'd like to just send a little bit of a message to the graduates and to the families and friends around peace. I mean this is a very ecumenical message in that at this winter time, during this season, we often think of peace. And I even went to my little friend, the WWW, and decided to do a bit of a search. And then I did a little bit of a qualitative clustering of what the 3 reflections on peace are most commonly directed towards. First and foremost, of course, in this season, the winter graduations, winter commencements, we do think about peace on earth. And while that is a lofty goal, I think as you look over your field work, you will see that social workers are very, very invested in social justice, very invested in diversity and inclusion. You can see even from some of your topics regarding the European migration, the domestic violence, etc., that your contribution does contribute in your practices to peace. The second most common area that we see peace used is in the media. And that's maybe perhaps a more fun way to look at it, but we're all exposed to the media through the YouTube, Facebook, music, etc. And one of my favorite groups, which will kind of date myself, but is U2. You probably don't, are you even aware of U2, Bono and YouTube? Everybody knows YouTube, right? But, one of the big breakthroughs for U2 was in 1998 when they dedicated a song to the bombings in Northern Ireland from the IRA bombings and in memorial to the people who were killed in the IRA bombings. And then they again subsequently did a famous song in 2001 for September 11. So music and the media will continue to play a very big element in our aspirations for peace. But you might say, well, as a graduate, in addition to your work with social justice and diversity and inclusion, how will I really contribute to peace? But I would say on a more focused level, I would challenge you, remember that the element of peace that you communicate to the families and the communities that you work with is a really critical part of what you do. The elements of acceptance, tolerance, forgiveness, just the family or the client being at peace with their situation. You're going to be dealing with families in very challenged, adverse situations, from domestic violence to financial hardship to bullying. So it's really important as you work with those clients and families, even though they're in an adverse situation, that in your relationship building with them, they can go on with their problem solving with the sense in their heart that they have comfort, acceptance, tolerance, and a sense of peace. So I leave you today saying go out and celebrate, and I extend to you all a piece of the season and a piece for your personal and professional life in the future. Thank you.
Thank you, Dean Rue. We have a talented social work faculty in our department, I think about 16 or 17 of us, and we get to work pretty closely with students. And in this kind of professional program, we see our work with students a little bit differently than they do in some programs. We're not just looking for academic ability and quality, but we also watch our students closely to make sure that they have the attributes, including the values and ethics, that are going to make them good social workers, that they practice even early in their academic careers, the professionalism that it's going to take to go out and work in really hard situations and to deal with confidentiality during high media exposure cases, and to treat each other with respect and to treat the professors with respect and to earn that back from the people that they work with. So our faculty have, I hope, a really special role in the lives of these students, and we hope that you all will continue to come to us and consult with us as you move on to your profession. We're lucky to draw many talented faculty from the community who have worked in social work for many years and have that practice experience and get to come back and share it with the field. And today our faculty speaker is Professor Barb Kitco, and she worked in the Grand Forks school system for many years, among other places, in her 20-plus year career in social work. So we're so happy that she joined our faculty last year and that she'll get to say a few words to you today.
Thanks, Melanie. Wow, I think the speakers who talked before me kind of stole my speech. They must have looked at my notes prior to coming. I have had most of you. There are a couple of you I don't recognize, and so as students anyway, so some of what you're going to hear is going to be a little flavor of our class. First off, there's a quote that says, "Do something that scares you every day." Well, today this is my box that I get to check up, talking in front of you all. I think it's easier in the classroom to talk to students, but to be here in front of your support systems is a little challenging for me. So I'm going to talk a little bit about some quotes. So most of you who have had me know how much I love quotes. First off, I want to say on behalf of the Department of Social Work, we all congratulate you. The students, soon to be graduates, Melanie's calling them graduates, so I better say graduates. I know you didn't reach this point alone. Again, Melanie covered this, but I really feel like we need to recognize the support of the people who listened to you whine and cry, held you up, maybe helped pay for your college, cheered you on in those dark moments, but also celebrated when those big papers were written, and each year celebrated that you were moving on and you finally figured out what you were going to do when you graduated. It really does take a village to get to where you guys are at. It doesn't happen alone. Now, all of you parents out there, because I'm a parent as well, I know you're all maybe whispering, maybe shouting. Now you guys are off our payroll. You've reached adulthood. So anyway, looking back over the last couple years, or the last 4+, many of you have been in school longer than that, I hope you've had time to reflect on what this journey has meant to you. If you haven't, now you might have some time to reflect on what this journey has meant to you. All those final field papers are done and in, and those thank yous written, and so you'll have time to reflect on what this education has meant to you. Melanie talked a little bit about my experience. I come to you with a lot of practice experience, about 30 years. I want to share a little bit about my experience as it relates to practice. And first off, I want to know where my cape is. My students who have had me know I talk about having a cape. That as a social worker in this field, that we all want to be superheroes, while saving people and earning a lot of money. And according to society, what we do, what did your family and friends tell you that social workers do when you went into the field? Take away children. Yep. I do poll my class, and I do ask the students about that, and by and large, that is the number one response, because the media has portrayed us in that light as well. So, with all jokes aside, I want to let you guys in, and your family members in, on a huge secret. We have the honor and privilege to experience the world through the eyes of our clients. What an awesome responsibility you will all have on your shoulders. We get to help our clients write their own stories of success, while through the art of listening, we're able to infuse hope and self-worth. Well, this is starting to sound a little bit like the NASW Code of Ethics. I'm sure you all remember engaging in those wonderful conversations about our Code of Ethics and our core values. Did it ring a bell? Did you guys talk about Code of Ethics during your class time here at UND? I hope so. I know you did. If you had my class, we did. We spent a lot of time. But for the benefit of the audience, I just want to share a little bit about Social Worker Code of Ethics so that you guys are able to support your social workers in their job and in this journey. First off, as social workers, we value service to others. This is the foundation of all of our other values in the profession. It's putting our clients' needs before our own, serving others and addressing social problems. The next value is social justice, the need to help underprivileged, vulnerable populations, and inherent desire to improve the lives of less fortunate and unable to advocate for themselves. This is where we are the change agents. The next value is the human dignity and worth. Every human life has value, so we need to accept and respect all. The importance of human relationships. We talked earlier about how important it is to have a support system. Many of the people that we work with don't have positive support systems, but relationships are key, and your relationships with your clients is key to helping them move forward. Integrity. Brene Brown, who is one of my mentors, I really look up to her. She's a PhD. She has a PhD in social work. She states, integrity is choosing courage over comfort, choosing what is right over what is fun, fast, or easy, and choosing to practice our values rather than simply professing them. Competence is the last one, and really that just says we need to practice in an area of our expertise while we continue to grow and learn and contribute to the profession. Guess what, students? Your learning is not over. It's lifelong. Our work isn't flashy, and most of us don't win awards. But the rewards we receive every day to show up, hear, see, and feel the pain of others is truly an honor not many other professionals receive. When you're living your life as a social worker, you are a change agent. You are helping, advocating, educating, being compassionate, along with many other things. But one thing that I have talked to students in my class about is making sure you have the balance. Because while we're busy being superheroes, we have to make sure that we take care of ourselves. So all of your support people behind you, when you see them getting frazzled, you need to remind them about balance. You will encounter hurdles along the way, and you will fail. J.K. Rowling said, "It's impossible to live without failing at something, unless you live so cautiously that you might as well not have lived at all, in which case you have failed by default." Wow. Think of all the lessons you will learn, have learned, along with the rest of us, by failing. When I think back on the moments that I failed, and there are many, those were the big learning moments in my life. And I think professionally, when I struggle with clients, those were moments that I needed to stop and pay attention to. So you all, graduates of UND, are leaving with a gift. You're leaving with a toolbox earned by you. It's called education. Nelson Mandela said, "Education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. So what are you waiting for? It's time to change the world." I'd like to close, again, one more quote, with a quote from John Legend, because he said it so beautifully. "Love yourself, love your work, love the people around you. Dare to love those who are different from you, no matter where they're from, what they look like, and who they love. Pursue the life of love with focus and passion and ambition and courage. Give it your all, and that will be your path to true success." So, in this moment, on this special day, I would like to salute you, 2016 new graduates of UND Social Work Program. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Professor Kitko. I know that there are some of you, probably all of our graduating students in this room, who have at some time had to go to a professor and ask for a little more time or a little forgiveness or a little grace. And there are times too that we as professors have had a hard day or misstepped and had to ask for a little patience from all of you. And so many of these things that happen to us in the classroom are so applicable to what happens when you go out into the field. So as you embark on your journeys, remember your professors like Barb and the times that you had to ask for a little more. And when your clients come to you and need to ask for a little more, remember that you were also given that at some point in your educational career, and that sometimes we all need a little extra. If there's one thing that I hope that you come away with in your learning about social work, is that we don't deal with very many black and white situations. We deal with a whole lot of ambiguity. So if we've helped you figure out how to sit with ambiguity, to be okay with not knowing, and to, as Barb says, keep learning, keep asking questions, that will be one of your biggest strengths. We're not going to be replaced by computers anytime soon. So we need the critical thinking skills that you will bring to the field. We are so proud of our students, and I'm happy now to introduce our student speaker, who was nominated by her class to say some words to you today. Kirsty Hansen, please join us.
Well, first off, I'd like to say somebody dropped the ball, because mimosas and Caesars should have been here, because I think my speech would be a lot better. Pretty sure my class just nominated me because I'll just keep talking, so sorry about that. No, in all seriousness, I'm honored to speak on behalf of such an inspirational group of students. This class is putting forth a passionate group of social workers who will no doubt change this world. That may be the world for one child, one new American, one elderly person, one veteran, one disabled person, one victim, one battered woman, one impoverished family, or an entire community, but will change the world. 2016 has been a challenging year for many of us, and for probably different reasons, yet we have come together as a creative, like-minded, yet diverse, motivating, and hardworking group of social workers. We will not be broken by the sadness and the pain this year has brought. Instead, we will forge on, carrying our heads high, and rise above the hate. We will continue to empower our clients, our friends, and our families. We will advocate and be the voice for those whose voice remain unheard. Hopefully there will come a time when social workers are more appropriately recognized for their contributions to this world and their allegiance to advocacy and the underprivileged. And maybe someday we'll even make enough money to actually afford mimosas and Caesars at a graduation party. But I'm not banking on that, so if anyone is marrying for money here, sorry. I feel really lucky to have shared a classroom and now a career field with a faculty and a class of with people with such aspirations and goals. Each one of us has brought our own unique, diverse experiences and backgrounds, and I think we have used that to shape our classroom and further our competency with those that we want to work with in this field. I appreciate all of the knowledge and the skills that I have learned from each and every one of you. I don't think a single one of us would be here today without our support systems. Everyone has addressed that, and I think that's just so huge. To our supporters, thank you for putting up with whatever we may put you through, especially our political rants, which probably go on far too often, and still loving and supporting us anyways. And last but not least, to our faculty. Your dedication to us and our futures will forever be remembered. We should recognize, and I think that we all do recognize, your dedication to our success. And we hope that we can take the information and the skills that you've given us and make you proud. So, to everybody, 1,000 times, thank you.
Thank you, Kirsty. That was lovely. Our students do go to so many places out in the community throughout North Dakota, sometimes in states far beyond, and we have a growing international reach and presence. And so now we have a very special surprise student guest speaker who's going to join us via Skype from Malmo, Sweden, where she just completed her internship placement. So she is part of this graduate class, and her name is Bailey Kitko. And so we're going to get her up on the screen right now.
struggles and use them as strengths and learn from them. And I think the cool thing about our job is that we are advocators and we can advocate and educate society and we can make a difference and it is possible. So congratulations to the class of 2016 from Sweden.
Grand Forks and has spent this whole semester in placement. We forged this partnership with Malmo University in Sweden, and we had our first 2 students in placement there this year. And we do have a competitive application process for students who want to take that experience. And those of you who are going on to the MSW program will have another opportunity to do something like this. So we're really proud of our international reach and our ability to learn about other cultures within other cultures. So a fun opportunity for all of us here to experience from the sidelines our students who are really going places far away. Okay. We're to the point of our ceremony this morning where we get to honor each student individually and invite them up to receive a pin from their advisor or faculty person that they've worked with. This ceremony, as you see in the back of your program, is called the Myrna Haga ceremony. She was a big advocate for us recognizing undergraduate graduation in a similar way that we do to our MSW graduates who receive hoods during a hooding ceremony. In North Dakota, there is such a need for social workers that people who work as social workers at the bachelor's level often are asked to take on very high responsibilities and roles. They become program directors. They work with families of all kinds. And Myrna, who worked here for many, many years, said we need to have a moment to stop and recognize the good things that these students are going to do and the hard work that they've done. So she encouraged us to have this pinning ceremony, and it's been going on ever since. So in her honor, now we are going to ask each student to come and join us, but first we're going to ask all the faculty to come up so that they can greet and congratulate the students as they walk the stage. Our first student is Blair Bozica, and she wrote a research paper, come on up. She wrote a research paper about elder abuse. So come on up this way, and Angie Muse is going to give her her pin. And if anybody would like to come up and take a picture or anything, just go ahead, feel free to jump up. We'll take a minute and pose for you and everything as we move people across. Yes. So Angie is handing her the ABCs of social work, which Myrna created, and it's the first thing that students can hang up in their new cubicles or office spaces as they go on in their education. It seems that none of the parents of our male students were able to talk them into coming for today's ceremony, so none of our men graduates are here today, including Jake Bradley. Haley Gilson is here, and Roger Johnson is her advisor. Haley, come on up. She wrote her final research paper on conscious discipline. Kirsty Hansen, welcome. Angie Muse is her advisor. Kirsty completed her final research paper on victim blaming. Bailey Kitsko is we saw from Sweden, and hi Bailey, we're all here, congratulations. She's watching us on live stream. Barb Kramer was her advisor. James Lindgren is not with us today. Caitlin Morris is here. Her advisor is Roger Johnson. She completed her research paper on school social work. Sarah O'Ganty. Her advisor is Dishana Jayasundara, and who is not here today. So Barb Kitko, would you please come up and offer her her pin? And we will have a little more time for pictures when we go out front here in just a minute. The beautiful family. Wait for us for just a minute. Next we have Elizabeth Otto. And Barb Kitko is her advisor. Her final research paper was on a shelter for homeless families. Congratulations. Lee Rosenberg is not here today. Our next graduate is Ashley Vanderver. Angie Muse is her advisor. Her research paper was on technology benefits for children with autism. Congratulations. Next we have Chislaine Weiss. Kaylin, will you? Chislaine's advisor, Dishana Jayasundara, is out of the country. She's asked for Kaylin to offer her her pin today. Her research paper was about hoarding disorder. Congratulations. Erin West. Roger Johnson is her advisor. Erin's research paper was about recovery. And we want to recognize Adam Yadser, though he's not here with us today. Finally, I want to acknowledge that Professor Roger Johnson is here for his very last pinning ceremony. So we celebrated his retirement last week, and he will be on to further adventures. That's it. This brings us to the end of our ceremony. Again, thank you so much for being here. Congratulations to all of you. The sitting through this long ceremony is payback to your family for all that they've done for you. The last final hurrah. Before you go off to that, we've brought some food for you and some time to relax and lounge and take pictures together and visit in the next reception room right next to us. We welcome you to go get settled there. We'll ask our students to first gather at the fireplace for a couple group photos before you join your family. One more last round. Thanks. Have a great day.